All right, welcome back to the Thrive Vodcast. So today is another one of the live from the hunt episodes. It's been a while since I've done one. I've been on a few hunts, but obviously they haven't been good enough to talk about. I get a lot of feedback on these, so I wanted to sit down on this one for a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm here on this hunt with my good buddy, Chiam. When I first met him, he was wearing rolled up jeans and penny loafers and skinny jeans and penny loafers when I first met him.
Oh,
and then we went on a
You make it sound like I had a coexist sticker on my tailgate.
Well, we thought you did. I did not know you were quite the conservative, gun-toting redneck that you are. But once I found out you were from Texas, Arkansas, or in that corridor, I'm like, okay, he can't be all bad. But we went on a bear hunt together. We kind of formed a friendship there, and it's been good. And and you were like a real badass on that hunt. Literally, I think every piece of gear you had was borrowed.
Yep.
You were out of food for about half that hunt.
Yeah.
So he didn't use the daily food bag, so I've talked about this in one of my videos before, but packaging your food in gallon bags per day, grab that one right there, Chiam. This is what I'm talking about right here. Using one of these daily food bags is really a crucial when it comes to kind of managing your intake, because you can easily get real hungry, as Chiam did, and ate literally all of his food. And then he says, ask Ryan where the rest of his food was. And he goes, well, that was your whole 10 days. And that was like 5 days in. On the way out, I think all he had left was like an oatmeal packet or something like that, right?
Yeah. We had the llamas. So basically a pannier was plopped down in front of me. And it was like, just grab whatever in there. So I'm like, okay, I'll grab 6, 7, however many days. How many days are we going? And I grabbed just meals. So there's no baggies. There's and then what I didn't know is there's another pannier of snacks. I didn't know you're supposed to mix and match. So I just grabbed meals. So I'm one meal a day. So I'm begging for snacks. I'm doing tricks in camp for, for snacks. So yeah, it was rough. Lesson learned. But now you got me on the freeze dryer train and I'm trying all sorts of stuff.
That's right. Chiam was just bragging about his, Asian beef recipe and lo mein. But the way Chiam does it, though, is he rolls into Costco, buys the pre-fabricated meals, and then takes them on freeze dries and then tries to pass them off as his own recipe.
Yeah, it's a recipe. I have to freeze dry it. So, I mean, but the original invention that I'm excited about is the McGriddle bites breakfast. I'm stoked about that.
You better not expose that here.
All right, we'll save it because that might end up on.
What we're talking about here is sausage and eggs with syrup-infused
pancake balls. So we're going to make pancake balls.
Injected with a turkey baster.
Inject it with a turkey baster with syrup into it. And then once you got all that goodness in a baggie, it's just like a McGriddle to go on the mountain.
Well, this is the same guy that freeze-dries 7-layer burritos, right?
Yes. Anything from Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So also, Chiam is like our cameraman extraordinaire on a lot of hunts. And when he first started hunting with us, if he had a weak spot, we were talking about this, it was his hunting prowess, like being sneaky, right? Well, now Chiam has been on enough hunts with some of the best hunters in North America. That's one other good thing. You get a chance to spend time with some good dudes. So Chiam has now turned into a little killer himself, although he is not bringing much of his good luck with us on this hunt. But
hey, this is the spot here, the scout here. The e-scouting failed somewhere.
Right? So now his talents are like, magnified. He's already a great cameraman before he came. Now he's got both. So it's always really awesome to have him. I don't get a chance to go with Chiam very much anymore because he's A-team now. And I'm like the B-team PEAX guy. So I get all the leftover hunts. I get stuck with I have to do those. I have to make all those sacrifices so that he gets to go with Corey Jacobson. He gets to do all these things, go on these fully guided odd dad hunts and all this stuff, staying in lodges and not us. That's not the way the B team rolls. So we're on this hunt. We decided we want to do a late season hunt together. And it is late season, but sure doesn't feel like late season. No. So for the past week and a half, I've been hunting in a couple different places, but they've both been migration corridors. Well, we've literally got no snow in Montana on November 18th or whatever today is. So we just got no weather to push any elk into these zones. And
it's like 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's like raining. There's no snow. Every time precipitation comes, it's rain. Now, it's still cold because the wind chill is cold, but when the wind isn't blowing, it's like a heat wave like we're in Florida. So we've seen some nice mule deer. I was on a hunt with my son. We had a couple of just absolute bruisers that these kids would not shoot. I don't know what's wrong. Who passes up 160, 170 whitetail?
Not
Mule
us.
deers. And my son's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know? He's a 170 and he's standing 100 yards, standing right there broadside. And he didn't shoot him. So we did kill one nice mule deer, but no elk. We've seen just very few elk in these zones. So we're going to give it tonight. And then we're going to make a move. So we've been kind of struggle busing it in here. We've got the catbird vantage spot though.
Oh, you can see the world from up here.
Yeah, I mean, this spot is like, if we can't see them from this spot, they're not here.
Yeah.
We're convinced. We're going to try one more spot that's a little harder to get to. This unit gets a fair amount of horse activity. We've seen the trails look like they've been used, pretty good. And we ran into one group. That's it. One group of horse. I have yet to see anybody off their horse.
Yeah.
Well, they were off the horse because they were afraid to ride.
Coming down steep stuff, yeah.
This late season stuff is really challenging. If you're going to try to hunt a migration unit, you got to have two things. You got to have a good spot, and you got to have the right weather.
Yeah, well, the weather is zero here.
One without the other is the recipe for kind of poor luck. But today, what I want to get into with Chiam was take advantage of his expertise. This dude is he's like the MacGyver of tech gadgets. And so I don't know if you guys have watched a couple of my episodes back. I did a review on solar panels. Let's just start there. So Chiam, obviously, as a cameraman, power is a big deal. So he pays close attention, does a lot of testing. He's got voltmeters, got all the gadgets on all these things. So I thought you guys would benefit tremendously. I know I have from his expertise. If I tell you something that I find out later that is not quite what I said or whatever, I'm going to tell you. And this is one of those times. Now, I still think Cruxley is a fantastic solar panel, and it's the lightest of all. And if you take care of it, like beyond take care of it, it might be fine. But we're going to talk about a few things. So, Chiam, I want to turn it over to you because I want you to kind of run through your original thinking on Cruxley, why you led me down the wrong path. And what you're thinking right now.
I don't think it's the wrong path. I think this has got a lot going for it weight-wise. Like the techs here, the panels, the way they're able to get these cells in like basically a paper-thin application. Dude, what does this come in at? I don't remember exactly.
I think it's 9 ounces.
9 ounces.
Anyway, don't quote us on the numbers. Yeah. I'll put it up as text.
But for a 25 watt, the way I got down this hole with the Cruxley is I started thinking a lot of RVers and overlanders use solar blankets. Have you seen those? Just like basically like that 100 watt Cruxley. It's something that it compacts down into a small package you can stick in your dash or whatever, and then fold it out when you get there and stake it out basically, or tie it to something. And so I started looking at those and I was thinking, well, maybe someone makes a smaller solar blanket because most of them are 100, 200 watt to basically have a traveling 100 watt panel or whatever. So I found Cruxley by searching for blankets, solar blankets. And I found these guys and I was like, man, if it performs, and I got it in and it tested pretty well. The one thing that has happened here recently is mine's way more beat up than Mark's because I've had it for about a year more than he has. But these cells, you can see a few nicks and dings in his. But what it eventually starts to happen, I'm not going to really fold it, but when it's in your pack and it's amongst some gear items, it'll start to bend. And that bend creates like a laminate tear in this cells. These cells are here.
This is our theory.
Yeah, this is all theory, but I have noticed that I can back this up a little bit by saying when I first got it, it tested around the 15 to 16 mark. I tested it the other day, my panel, which has been through the ringer, and it's getting 9.8 watts in on a sunny day, which, nothing ever, you're never going to get this. It's advertised as 25 watt. You're never going to get it. A decent, like the Sun Jack panel is around 13.8 watts in, which is not even close to 25, but it's a good performing solar panel. And
so what you're saying is you're going to get about 50% at best case.
I think so.
Of what they say.
It's almost like power banks. A really good one's going to be 60%, and an average one's going to be about 50%. We're going to
get into that next.
So anyways, I think that just degradation over time with this deal, like just being able to fold it like that, and we put it in packs. It's just what you have to do. And when these cells get folded up like that, it turns into a downside instead of an upside with it being flexible. The other thing on days like today, you cannot leave this panel set up and expect it to be there when you come back to camp. This thing will fly into the next county with winds like we've got right now because it's so flimsy. And again, at first that seems like a real upside. 9 ounces or whatever it is, and flexible, great. But you legitimately have to either tie this thing off or stake it down, or it's flying away. So depending on how you use it and your style, it can be an upside if you've got the time to stake it down or tie it down. But I do think that one of the faults, and this is assumption on my part, but I know that mine's testing lower now, is that eventually these cells start to lose connection to each other, which results in less draw from your panel. So I've started to kind of go away from it. Mainly, take aside all the bending and crinkling of the cells on these panels. Take all that aside. The main reason I started going back to a solid wall panel is because, like I said, the wind. So when you get a solid wall panel, which this is my current ringleader right now,
okay.
the Renogy Rego. Now, if you guys don't know, I live off grid, and so my whole life revolves around solar. And Renogy is a company that I've bought all of my stuff from. Just did a lot of research early on and figured this company was good, free shipping, whatever. Ordered it. Everything's worked flawlessly. I've got inverters, I've got breaker boxes, I've got panels, I've got all the wiring. Everything on my house, which has been running for about 3 years now, is Renogy. So when they released this Rego, which is their first stab into the backpacking ultralight world, I copped it immediately. So this is a little bit more wattage in than the Sunjack or Cruxley. Most backpacking applications for these are around 20 to 25 watts, and this is a 30 watt, and it is lighter than the Sunjack, which I think you've talked about before. A little bit more expensive, I believe. I don't remember exact prices, but I bought this one, tested it.
What do you think the range? Guys, I'll put this on the screen. The current price, since we're in the field.
It's ballpark around the Sunjack.
But you're talking $250 for this thing.
Way less than that.
And I was so high on this because when I tested this thing, it cranked out. And I'm like, we're cooking with gas. But I've been on a couple hunts with this thing now, and it just doesn't seem to be charging like it did. So I haven't ran the voltmeter on this one since it started going downhill. I'd expect better than this.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think that's a big thing.
I'm taking a retraction on my my recommendation on this.
And I've always said that if ultralight is your end all be all, that's still the panel for you. But with this coming in, I don't remember exactly how much it weighs, but it's advertised.
It's definitely a third more.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? Maybe double.
Yeah. Which it's a 30 watt. It works. And I can say that it is the highest performing solar panel out of anything I've tried so far as what it advertises and what it actually gets. So it says 30 watts, and on a sunny day, I got 21.5, which is incredible. That's blows away everything else. Like I said, the Sunjack was getting like 13.5. Same sunny day, same testers, both at the same time. This was pulling in 21.5, and that translates to just much more charge into your power bank, your phone, or whatever.
So guys, also remember, Chiam's not speculating on this. Like a lot of guys like put their panel out. Did it charge my phone or did it not? What he's doing is he's putting a meter on it. And he's checking it over time, looking at it. So he's doing more quantitative testing on this so that the numbers he's talking about are not, we're not just guessing them. The sun is just different times of year. The winter is not as powerful as the summer.
Yeah.
You've got less hours during the day in these late season hunts. So batteries are a little more of a problem on these late season hunts, and your overcast time is way more. Mm-hmm. Like today, we got the sun peeking out every now and then, but not much. And like Chiam said, what I really like about this thing, one of the other things about the Cruxley that I found on the Wyoming hunt is you want to angle it towards the sun, right?
Yeah.
And when you try to angle that Cruxley, it's so flexible that it's just a nightmarish, right?
Yeah.
So, and I like, this thing has a lot of grommets.
Yeah.
So even if you want to tie it out, the Cruxley doesn't have grommets on all four corners, which I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
It's only on one side. Chiam and I were on a hunt in Alaska, which I'll show you some footage while we're talking. We rolled in there with the $600 version of the 100 watt Cruxley. And Chiam,
oh, no.
The first day.
No, that's
the way I remember
that's
it.
not how that went. Mark starts plugging things. He doesn't know where they go. And then all of a sudden he's like, this isn't working.
So we were counting on that thing.
Yeah.
So it was 100-watt panel, and it was useless to us day one. And
that was the very first day.
We went to Papa Bryce to get the money for that Cruxley, and then we cooked it the first day in Alaska. You know, this isn't a Renogy show, but their stuff is good. So this is a Renogy pack, and I think it's 72,000. This will power my Starlink for over 4 hours. We watched my son and I on his birthday. We were hunting on mule deer, and he was kind of like, "You mean we're going to go hunting on my birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, we're going." And okay. So we went. And when I had packed in, he didn't know it, but I had packed in a birthday cake on the llamas and the panniers, and I packed the Starlink, and we watched the Chiefs Monday Night Football on his birthday. He was the happiest about that. So it does really good in it. I mean, obviously this thing's heavy.
It's a chunk.
It's a brick.
But this is for like your Alaska hunt. You're flying in.
Yeah, this is not a backpack. This is a llama, goat, horse thing. But so anyway, I just wanted to throw this in. This is another Renogy product that we're using. So next time, let's talk real quick about these power banks. I'm really big on these night cores. And again, even though Chiam let me down on the Cruxley recommendation, he did steer me the right direction on these night cores. So Chiam also recommended these to me. This is the 10,000 milliamp. So Chiam's been doing a lot of testing on these as well. And he told me something yesterday that kind of blew my mind. So I wanted him to pass along to you today. I think you're going to be surprised. So when you go to Walmart, and you go to Amazon, you go all these places, and you buy a 10,000 milliamp bank, they're not all created equal, guys.
No.
They're not even close, right?
No. And you're not going to get 10,000 either. Like that is what this box technically holds. But when there's so many things that happen when you plug into a power bank. You plug into this guy, and one, there's your amount that it draws out. So if you're fast charging with your iPhone, right? It's got to convert from a battery. It's basically got, I always think of this as, not everyone has a solar setup in their house, but it's like a solar setup at your house. You get your charge into your battery, and then your inverter has to work, and it has to output to a safe voltage to your house. So this is outputting that safe voltage to your house, which is your phone. Because if it didn't, it would just fry your phone. It would just put all those, 10,000 milliamp hours out like that, and it would just fry your phone. But what it does is it converts to that safe, I believe it's like 2.5 amps or whatever, is just like your safety number for small electronics. So it's making a conversion, which automatically loses heat loses power because it's converting, which creates heat, which loses more power based on how well this power bank is dissipating heat. And this carbon fiber lets heat out pretty well, so it breathes a little bit better, which helps with that conversion loss. And what I tell a lot of people too is, instead of fast charging your phone, unless you need that power right now, like say it's nighttime and we need those maps, and I'm like, Mark, get it going right now, we got to get home, then fast charge it by all means. But for most of us, we're charging back here at camp, we're charging on the glassing knobs. You need to find out which button allows you to slow charge, which is designed for Apple Watches and AirPods, and it just splits that in half and doesn't fast charge, but it saves that transference.
So how do you do it on this one, or can it just do it automatically?
Okay, so usually it's like a hold. So I just held that button down, and that last button goes white.
Oh.
You're now in slow charge mode, which is designed to just trickle charge, because AirPods case, you plug it in, it doesn't give enough signal back. It doesn't have enough power back into this thing to keep it on. So it'll stop charging because it thinks that whatever it is fully charged.
I got you.
So it's designed to keep those things on.
Yeah.
But it also trickle charges. So it's a slower charge. So it saves you. I mean, it's not huge, but 8% on a power bank at the end of the day is kind of huge if you're in.
Okay, so what Chiam is saying is we need to read the directions on these things.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know that about this. I had no clue about that fast charging and slow charging.
Well, I only know because I had AirPods, and I've since moved away from AirPods, whole different story, but wireless next to your brain is not good. So I've gone to wired. But when I used to charge my AirPods all the time, I'd plug it in and then they just stopped charging, and I'd take them off thinking they were charged and they were still dead. So that's what this is designed for, is like smaller, really small items that just don't read out as powerful as an iPhone. And so you turn on that trickle charge and it'll just stay on, outputting its smallest amperage out until you turn it off, basically. And that's handy for, especially if you're charging your phone overnight. It just slows it down, and it's not creating as much heat in there by making it safe output. That
Because when you plug this thing in,
Oh yeah,
it gets
you can
warm.
feel it.
You can feel the
it
heat.
gets warm.
So talk about, you were telling me about the percentage, the output percentages.
So a bad one is going to be 40%. So if this says 10,000, you would get 4,000 out, which, to put that in relative terms, is not even anymore, because the iPhones are getting bigger, the batteries are getting bigger. I'd say that that's barely squeaking by a full charge on a newer iPhone, like 13 Pro Max Plus, because the batteries are just so big now, they last so long. I'd say that used to, the number was like 3,200 milliamp hours for a phone charge, and you could get by with that. Now it's getting closer to 4,000, sometimes even more, depending on the phone. But so basically, a bad one would be 40%. A decent one would be 50%, 5,000 actual, like after all that transference into a safe output, and you're losing all that through heat dissipation, whatever, the actual output is different than the stated capacity.
So how do you know that? You don't, right? Because
you have to test it.
Yeah, there's no other way.
There's no other way.
So guys, it's listening to this show. It's listening to what people that have actually done the testing. If you listen to the hype and you look at all the advertisement, they all say 10,000, 10,000. And you're like, well, here's a $25 10,000. And now this one's for the cost is really cost.
And weight. The weight's big on that.
Yeah, this was half the weight of the Dark Energy. Pretty close to half. And it performed better in the test that we did, or that Chiam did. Just because it says 10,000, it's not going to be 10,000. It's going to be some percentage of 10,000.
Yeah.
And you're saying if you get a one that can produce 60%, you're cooking with gas.
60% and up is good. I am still searching. It's feasible and it's possible with the right fans or breathing or whatever to get something that's up to 80%. It's possible because they do it with solar, like actual house batteries. Like they do it. You get about 80% of that back. Of course, it's a big inverter. It's got fans. It's all that, but it's possible. And so I think that something from 70 to 80% is possible. I just haven't found it yet.
Well, the other thing I've heard too, I wanted to put you on the spot on this too, is that once you go beyond 10,000, it's even worse. When they get really big, when these things get really big.
It depends. There are some that perform better than others. I've just found that the weight penalty of 20,000 for what you get output-wise, actual output-wise, it's just not worth it for me. I'd rather have 3 of these.
Yeah.
That way you're also like, what if your 20,000 fails?
Yeah, right.
Like, because we've even had a night core
I had one fail. Yeah, I had one fail.
So I would rather have all my eggs spread out instead of in one basket. And it's just weight, right? If I have 3 of these, I can choose, it's a 3-day hunt, I'm going to take 1. Or, it's a 5-day hunt, I'm going to take 2. Or, it's pretty cloudy, I'm going to take 3. I'd just rather have options. And that's not to say, like, sometimes I will pack in a 20,000 if I just know it's going to be rainy the whole time. But I just find the weight ratio for performance, I prefer to have multiple 10,000s. That's just me personally.
Well, here's the other application that I do with this. The reason I bring 2 of these, 2 10,000s on most hunts, is because I like to leave my solar panel at camp staked out in a really nice sunny area on a 10,000 bank, so that during the day I can get a full 10,000 every single day without trying to set that thing up when we stop. Sometimes we don't stop. Yeah. We're hiking all day and we don't get that much charging in. If you have a 20,000 with you in your pack, 1, you're carrying too much for the day. Number 2, when are you going to charge it?
Yeah.
You're back at camp at night. Chiam carries his with him a lot because he's topping off batteries and for cameras, things like that. But for normal hunting purposes without the camera aspect, I have found that I always carry 1 because, guys, I've had nights where we had to track.
Yeah.
I've had nights we ended up 6 miles from camp. My phone was already at like 40%. I'm really counting on my Onyx to get us back. So I just am never out in the field without this thing. And this weight penalty, this is like, I don't remember what the ounces on this thing is.
I don't know, but it is
Put it up on
probably
the screen.
one of the lightest.
It is and it performs well. I mean, you might not be able to drive it over in the truck, but I mean, when are you going to do that anyway? I run 1 in my pack, and then I leave 1 on my solar panel at camp in the sun.
Yeah.
And on the Wyoming hunt this year, we all would run out in the morning, set our solar panels up, and we'd come back, and my Cruxley would be flipped over. Now, thank goodness it got a pretty good charge, but so many times my panel was the only one that was flipped over, and everybody else was running harder panels.
Yeah.
And even though mine might have been better, it was only up half the day, so it ends up being not better. So the reason we're talking about some of these things, guys, is I told Chiam that I'm going to have my wife. She's always trying to decide what to get me for Christmas. So I'm just going to say call Chiam. So the next thing I want to talk about real quick is this DJI.
Yeah.
So, we film things, guys, and I film things for my shows. So what I'm running right now is my iPhone with this Hollyland mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also running Insta360 x4 with the instant mic with the new Insta360 mic that goes with it. So right now this show, we're filming it with an iPhone using the Hollyland mics. It works pretty dang good, guys, for this kind of stuff. Now, it's not going to film action, kill shots, and stuff like that. But the 360 cameras are so nice in the fact that especially when you're trying to self-film,
yeah,
and you don't want to worry about what direction it's pointing and
just
stuff.
set it down, put
it in your pack, whatever. But I did a lot of filming. I'll show you some segments while we're talking. From Alaska, we carried that a lot, that 360. It's like almost like the way the wide angle looks, it's like a drone following you almost. So obviously you can't use a drone while hunting in a lot of places, but it gives you the effect of the drone. We had a 12-foot carbon stick, and man, in Alaska, we were getting crazy cool footage with that, right? So Chiam showed me this new thing, and this is next on my list. Was this number 1 or number 2 on my Christmas list?
I think you said this was number 1.
Yes, number 1. So talk about this a little bit.
So this just came out. It's actually kind of hard to get a hold of because of the whole China deal now. So I ended up, I just pre-ordered it in 2 different places, and one of them ended up coming through. What I will say, side note here, for anybody that wants to get deals on anything like DJI or anything like that, if you can't get it through normal channels, get on AliExpress, not Alibaba, AliExpress, and it's like they ship it from China and it's free shipping. It takes a bit, but it's still faster than waiting 2 months for them to be in stock here. So I've done it with, there's an attachment to my gimbal that I ordered, and that was the first, it was a low entry item, right? Low risk for me. It was like $50. So I was like, I'll try it because I waited 2 months and it still wasn't in stock. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start trying it. I'm going to try it. So I tried AliExpress. It came in, exact part, got the serial number and everything. So then I took the chance on this one. And again, same thing. It's legit.
Man, that's worth watching this show right here. So I'll give you okay, so AliExpress for electronics.
If something's out, especially right now, DJI is actually, there are rumors that they've released their stuff under different brand names to get past like the embargoes and tariffs and whatever. So there's a lot of, it's hard to find stuff that comes out of Asia to get it in the first month that it releases. It's hard. So AliExpress is a way to go for that. Some Amazon dealers as well, but they're harder to find. AliExpress is a sure thing because they're based in Asia. That's what I did with this guy. Got it in early. There was a lot of people who couldn't get their hands on it, but this is the DJI Osmo Nano. Now, DJI has a GoPro-like thing called the Osmo. They now have the Osmo 360, which I love and use as well for my 360 stuff, but this is their Nano. And so what I like so much about this is it's a GoPro, essentially, because you got this nice screen. You can flip it either way you want. Selfie mode it, like Mark loves to do, is walk and talk like this about himself and how many things he killed this year and whatever. So that he gets to look at himself in this big screen right here. He'll love that. Amy, he needs this.
Time when you're this good looking.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, gosh.
Yeah, this wide angle will make you look even skinnier. So.
Now hold on. Let me. If that's the case, let me just check that. Oh man, I look 15 pounds less.
I'm not gonna get that back. So. This is the Nano, and what's really cool about it is it's got this docking thing. It's got internal memory, so you don't have to worry. I mean, I would bring an SD card, but it's got 2 hours and 36 minutes of 4K, 24 frames a second.
It takes an SD card too.
It does as well, yeah. So there's a slot right here.
That's
cool.
So
you can transfer anything on this little guy into the main bank, or just choose to record like this, and it goes straight into the SD card. So when you fill up your 2 hours of internal storage, on this little bitty thing, I think it's like 256 gigs. That's a lot. And so you can do 4K 60, 4K 120, and 4K 24, ultra wide. It's got stabilization, all that stuff. But my favorite thing is how small and like unobtrusive this gets when you take it off. So clip that on your hat right there.
Yeah, let's see how this works.
And it's not heavy like a normal GoPro.
Oh, it fits tight too.
Yeah, it doesn't come off.
Like it's not going to come
Sometimes off. I'll clip it on this little attachment on my bino harness.
That's the thing I've noticed. Like with a GoPro, my hat would be pulling down.
Oh yeah, and
see, I barely got my strap loose. I like my hats loose. Wow, that's really.
Yeah.
Does it on the tilt?
Yeah.
with this wide screen, I can see what I can see.
So that's the other benefit is your module here shows you your view live while you're doing it. You can press record from there. You can look at what you're looking at.
Thick in that puffy.
Yeah, it's not the most flattering.
Yeah, this is like ultimate selfie stuff here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty nice.
Keep this in your binocular.
Yeah, and pull it out and
just check.
Use it, whatever. And they both work standalone. So when you power that off, you just hold it down and it goes off. But you can also stop and start recording from this as well. And my favorite thing is that, you pass somebody on the trail, you don't want to look like a dork. So you just kind of like lay it down, and it's not as obvious that you're a goober running around filming yourself the whole time,
You know what I like about this guy is with my GoPro, I'm always like, is it on or is it off?
Yeah, it vibrates. That one vibrates,
well,
and you can check
see
your angle.
real quick. You can pull it out and say, is it on?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to test it. So I got it up here. Is the button? No, the button's on this side.
On the right side, yeah.
So I'm going to press the button. Yeah, it's red, recording. I can totally, that's so nice. I don't even feel it on my hat hardly.
No, it's impressive how light it is. Yeah. And it's got like all the stabilization in it. So you're walking and it almost looks like you're on a gimbal.
Look at this right now. Even in the screen, it's stabilizing.
Yeah.
Like I'm moving my head up and down and I'm looking at the camera right now.
So there's another feature on here that I don't use when I'm wearing it.
Maybe you can send me this footage, Chiam, and I can show this.
Oh, for sure.
But it's barely, look at that. It's barely moving with the camera.
It's nice. And that's not even the most advanced. So say you wanted to like get, it's got a couple of adapters it comes with. The hat clip, a magnet necklace. So the back of that's magnetic, kind of like these mics. So you put the necklace under your shirt and just pop it right there like a chest mount.
Oh, really? Right through the shirt?
Yeah, right through the shirt.
Strong enough.
Yeah. And then there's a little suction mount as well. But what I really like is you can get creative with some GoPro mounts, put them on your llamas or something, and you can turn on what's called horizon leveling. And it's so stable that you can turn that thing 90 degrees and it keeps your horizon wherever it is, locks on. So if the llama is like all tilted or whatever moving, it keeps it stable. So lots of cool features packed into a little thing. It's got, for my camera nerds out there, this has 10-bit recording in their D-Log, which is not like S-Log on a Sony, but if you're familiar with DJI products like their drones and stuff, you can shoot D-Log, which is log footage. And it's 10-bit, which means your color depth and everything is so good that you can match pretty closely with your main A camera. So for normal guys, I'd recommend just run it in whatever mode is standard with their color science, whatever.
So but you can flop that both directions.
You can selfie it, or you can flip it to where So it's plug and play. There's a lot of good things about it, and the mounts are so quick to do that. But anyways, number 1 on Mark's wish list right here.
On my list.
All right.
Okay, we're back. We had to make a quick cut because we forgot to get the product out of the tank. So I don't think I've talked about this before, but Chiam, up until this new product, has been running this product as well. But
that's so last year, Mark.
Yeah, this is so last year. When I go hunting with Chiam, half the reason is not because he's become a decent hunter. It's because I got to catch up on all the...
He steals all my gear.
Well, you stole my gloves last year. I saw the gloves.
Okay, the gloves were good. But, I don't go on my own show and say, I found these awesome Kuiu gloves.
True,
Mark takes everything I find, and he's like, you the people benefit
That's
from
not true.
me.
If you watched my solar panel, I talked about you extensively.
All right.
So anyway, we've been running these flex tail inflators. Several models of them for different things. So when we bear hunt, we're using alpaca rafts. So we run a little bit bigger version of a flex tail, and it works really well to blow those rafts up. And then there's like the little orange one that I ran for a long time.
Yeah. It's got the light on it.
It's really great. It's light, really light. But here lately, I've been running this 1.2, this flex tail 1.2. It's 1.2 ounces. The battery that comes with it is rechargeable with the USB-C, it is nice. I haven't tried it for extended hunts. 10 days, it has blown my pad up with not recharging the battery. And it comes with several of these rubber adapters. So what I do is I keep one on each end that will fit 2 different mattresses that I run. So that's kind of the way it works. But the problem with this thing has been, it's definitely a low volume pump. Not that it matters that much. I can squeeze it in there and let it run while I'm doing something else for a few seconds. But you have to keep the battery charged. It still weighs 1.2 ounces. I mean, not that that's heavy. It's lighter than most of the other ones. But then I saw the latest and greatest, which is always the case with Chiam.
Yeah, this is the Aero Go-Go Gigapump Air. This thing is sweet. So it looks like nothing. It weighs nothing. And it's got all kinds of adapters for your different sleeping pads. But right out of the gate, you'll see there, it's small because there's no battery.
I mean, this thing weighs less than an ounce.
Yes, 100%. I don't know the exact specs. They don't even list it because they probably they don't have a scale that goes that light. But it's got a USB-C out, and the point of it is to plug it into your power bank, and there it goes. And it's...
Okay, so you guys can hear that running. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just hear this. Okay, so go ahead. Let's do it again.
All right.
Let's put the same distance to your mic. We'll use your mic about right there. Okay.
Okay.
And then you can feel the vortex air coming out of that. So I'm going to give it equal. That's where you get out of the flex tail.
Yeah. Not quite as powerful.
And you can feel the air coming out of this thing, right? Like,
it's a soft whisper.
Whisper. I mean, it takes a while.
It's a careless whisper. That's what
so.
That is.
What I like is you're maintaining these banks. You got 2 or 3 of these 10,000s. You're rotating them. And you said that you haven't even noticed it even took the bank down hardly.
It has not taken a notch out of my night core on 5-6 day trips. And this is another thing that I really like about it. Say you're absolutely out of power and you're down to the last mile there and you don't want to charge your power bank. It runs off of your phone.
Oh, wow.
So that's a really good feature. The other thing, this is why you read instructions.
See, I can't run it off my phone because that's going to cut into my selfie time.
That's true. That is true.
I can't be walking down the trail.
Yeah, he can't be sending Amy selfies if he's draining his phone battery, blowing up his air mattresses. The other thing I like about this is when Mark gets his and he copies me again, we can actually... Okay, let me talk about 2 things that I like. There's just a lot, and there's packed into this little bitty thing. There's these, you probably can't see from there, but there's notches in these adapters that adapt to the pads. Now, every other flex tail and everything else on the market, they just pop off.
Yeah.
They can pop off easy. This actually twists and locks in. You can't pull it out.
I like that.
Now, it has the same thing on the top, and, I guess, yes, you could use it to deflate if you want. Those notches can be used to deflate. But the main thing, when I read the instructions, I found that you can stack these guys. So if we have like a pack raft and we want to get across a river, Mark could take his out of his bag, attach it to mine. We joined them together, and they produce twice the power. And we'll run some tests when we get to that point. But my imagining is that you put this in.
We're going to blow up an alpaca raft with less than an ounce of blower.
Yes, that's the goal.
Oh man, that's going to be a good test. We're going to test that out this spring.
Yeah,
I just started liking this thing too, and because it's small. I do like the light on the orange one, though.
Having a light is nice.
But the problem with the light on it goes out. It drains that thing quick.
Real quick. It's just such a small battery pack in those things.
How much was that?
Number 3. I want to say it's like around $50.
Okay.
So a good stocking stuffer for everybody.
Dude, they're making bank on this
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
My God. What do you think that costs to make?
You got to pay the price for innovation. That's smart.
Yeah, this is smart. That's smart.
And you want to know what's funny is that probably about a year ago when we started, me and Bryce were talking about power banks down the road at PEAX, I said, it would be smart to make stuff around your power bank instead of vice versa. And my first idea, there's a sketch and a little note somewhere in a pad at the PEAX office where I said, we need a blower that just plugs into your power bank and it weighs nothing. Well, there you go. You beat me to it. Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to prove it because that's pretty.
This is nice. Just, maybe a little photo of Mark somewhere on here.
I mean, celebrities do sell.
We'll
look at Taylor Swift,
$20 for that.
Yeah. I don't get a chance to hang out with Chiam very much on this, so you guys get a benefit from this. This is the first time I saw this was this morning, and I used it. I'm going to show you some footage. We had a cow, moose, and a calf right below us, and I would guess that was about 500, 600 yards.
Yeah.
Pretty good distance.
Yeah.
If you're like me, I don't want to swap my cases all the time. So that's one thing I like about you can use not any case, but we might talk about what cases, but you pretty much can use any standard case with this thing, right?
Or no case at all, whatever. Yeah, so forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but I believe it's epoch, maybe epic, it's EPOCH.
Okay.
However you say that,
Epic. It's not epic, just spelled.
It might be. I want to say someone corrected me, but
we'll beg forgiveness. I'll put the website up.
But their product makes up for the how hard it is to say their name. It is MagSafe. So with your iPhone, You just slap it on there. It locks in, and it's got 2 holes here for different cameras, but I always use the 1 to 2 to 3 times converter for my binos, and that's this one right here. And you can slide it over to use your wide angles or whatever. So, but this is the one I always run, and that's the one I told Mark to run. And it just slaps on, easy as that, and you slide it right back off, and you're done. Put it back in your pocket. I just slide this in the back of my bino harness and keep it with me all the time because it is so light.
I mean, it weighs nothing.
Like an ounce maybe.
So basically you eliminate the case.
Yeah,
you
no
just
case.
eliminate the phone case.
And everything past like the 12, I think, has a MagSafe. And I'll say this from the filmmaking perspective. I got into this because I started looking at adapters. I was looking at all this stuff, and I found this and ordered it immediately because I was like, if this works, this is gold. Because iPhones now have ProRes log in them, and the newest one's even better. I think we're on the 15 now. But you can actually get log footage out of your iPhone, and it looks great. Even if you don't use log footage, it looks great. But this adapter, you just simply snap it on, and then you've got another piece that you will buy from that website that's either for your spotter or for whatever binos you have. You select
well,
it
let's
and you
just
buy
stop right there. If you're using any binos, this is the other.
That's true.
Hey, this is the Christmas show.
Yeah.
Now, if your wife is just really amazing, or your husband, and they want to go like above and beyond kind of what you normally would get for Christmas, this is it. But when I got introduced to these binoculars, I kind of thought when I first picked them up, the first ones I grabbed were the 10s. I'm like, these are toys.
Yeah.
These things, like, they weigh nothing. But in my 36 years of hunting, I'm just telling you, I have never seen a more game-changing product for big game than these. They're a game changer at every level. But just look at the quality of this image on this moose at 600 yards.
Handheld.
One hand, and I'm trying to jack with the focus too.
Yeah.
Times like, Mark, quit doing that. These binoculars are amazing enough in themselves. But now that you can take this device,
Yeah.
it's a whole new level. So
Yeah.
I'm going to turn over to Chiam now.
Yeah. We got the SIG rep right there. That's why we're saying all this.
So Sig, if you're watching this, I do need a pair of 12s.
Yeah, I was able to sneak in before they were
I know,
sold out
they
to
were
get
sold out. I got the 20s.
But anyways, okay, so this adapter, you MagSafe it on, and I always you can adjust these eyepieces. I get it all the way down, and then you just click it on, just like that. Turn your camera on your phone, and, it opens up, the camera app opens up at 1x, and I click over to 2x, and I was telling Mark this.
So film out there. We'll show this actual footage.
Okay, so I'll film way across the canyon there. It's just super stable. I'm talking, and it looks like I'm on a tripod.
And you're freehanding.
And I'm freehanding. I'm doing what I told Mark not to do. And the best way to film with this setup is, say I see a deer over there. Okay, I see him. I'm going to focus it as precisely as I can through the binos. Now I'm going to reach for my adapter, put it on there, and I'm going to tap to focus with my phone, not vice versa.
Leave the
Don't
focus
touch
alone.
this again because it's in. You just verified with your eyes.
So why
that's
don't
in
you want to
focus.
touch it? What you were telling me, why?
It'll start fighting each other.
Yeah.
So if I start doing this, my phone's trying to focus for the binos, and you want the phone to focus to what the binos are already in focus for to give you the best optical clarity. So focus it up, and then don't touch that ring, then tap to focus with your phone.
Okay.
And then for those of you who don't know, you can press and hold to auto exposure and auto focus lock on the iPhone. You press it and hold until it says AEAF lock, and then it's locked in. Like I said, I got this because iPhone introduced ProRes log, and I thought, for all those times that you see a coyote running across a field, or there's a deer and it's a doe, and you may need the B-roll or whatever, but you don't want to pull out a tripod and my big Sony camera with the 200-600 lens. It's a pain in the butt. I have to slow down the whole train and be like, Mark, wait, we gotta film this. And so I got this for those moments where it's quick. You don't have time to take your pack off, or you're pinned by something, you can't take your pack off. And let me tell you, as a filmmaker, it came in clutch about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was filming an aoudad hunt. Bryce Bishop, the owner of PEAX, was hunting an aoudad in West Texas, and the way it happened, we had these sheep surprise us about 150, 250 yards below us, and we just heard rocks scattering. And there was no time for me to move my tripod from the open where the sheep could see us to where Bryce was shooting through this patch of little mesquite bushes that he was shooting through. So I'm panicking because I'm like, as a camera guy, I can't get this shot. And then I'm like, this is exactly what I got this adapter for. Pull out my binos, slap it on, and that's the only way I was able to. I mean, it happened. You know how fast it can happen on a hunt. It happened so fast, and I was on it. I got the shot. And what I did, instead of using ProRes, which I really wanted to use ProRes log, but in this model, I think the new models, things have changed, but in the 14 Pro Max, you can't use ProRes and shoot in 60 frames a second. And you also can't use sport mode. So if you're super unstable or it's super long, you can go into sport mode in your phone and it stabilizes even further than the SIG binos do. So I actually used 2.8K, 60 frames a second sport mode because I was literally holding the binos over Bryce's head, barely able to see my phone screen. And you'll see the footage. I'll give it to Mark.
We'll show it.
It saved the film.
One of Chiam's problems is he's so versed in all this stuff. He just runs through that like you just should know all of it. And when we're talking ProRes log, not log, 60 frames, 24 frames, 30 frames, I'm like, dude, I got my phone. What should I put it on? But these things make a huge difference. You know, what your phone comes with default is not necessarily what you should be filming in the field.
Yeah.
So let's run through the list real quick. So number one on the list was
number
the
one
DJI.
was
for me on my list. Okay, let me put it this way. This is my list, and you guys can, modify it as you need.
Yeah. This is basically Mark telling Santa what he wants.
I think I'm going to change my mind, though. I'm going to move the Epic or Epoch.
Oh, I talked to you. I swung you on
that thing. To be able to snap it on my binos and one-handed, I can't tell you how many shots have we missed or bear moving across or something we didn't get because we didn't have time to get all of our gear out.
Even to go back and look later to see if it's something you want to pursue. Like
that's right. That's right. Number one is the Epic
Epic Epoch adapter. Yeah, whatever. And you get this thing just slides. And Mark was asking me this. So you get your phone adapter based on what phone you have, and so this is for the 14, and it worked on Mark's 13. But they have them for each phone, and for the new phone it'll be different, whatever. But then you buy your subsidiary piece, which would be the adapter to whatever bino or spotter that you have. Or
both. What's nice is you can use on both.
Yeah, yeah. And you can get this for you can have it on both all the time. Yeah. And so you plop it down, and this will be interchangeable with any SIG.
Well, and I got to be honest with you, this little piece, can you take that on?
Yeah.
This is a third or a quarter of the weight of the other
and
one.
You can that doesn't come off my binos. I put it on there, and then he was like, well, how do you glass with it on there? And I just go 2 clicks up, and then they even out. And maybe everybody's eyes aren't the same as mine, but they just stay on. It never comes off for me.
Oh, yeah, there's no problem with that.
No.
You didn't even interfere.
Yeah.
DJI Osmo Nano.
Yeah.
Don't need to talk about that anymore. That thing does it all.
And then
number 3 was, I think I'm going to go with the Renogy's new solar panel.
Yeah.
The Rego. The next spot goes to this
Aero Go Giga Pump.
Okay, the Giga Pump. We're just going to call it Bring Out the Gig, right? Bring out the gig. So the Giga Pump, man, I can't.
That's with all the pump accessories.
Ridiculous right here. If you guys are doing big game hunting don't tell me you're young, you don't need tracking posts, because let me tell you, you're going to need them later because you're not using them now.
Yeah.
Save your knees, especially if you're packing meat, guys. These things are so light. Strap them on your pack.
If you just go up a hill with 45, like base weight, 45, 50 pounds going up a hill without trekking poles, and then you pull them up for the next switchback.
Dude, it's like four-wheel drive.
It's a big difference of how you got all that weight off your back. It's just a big difference.
You know, the last time I'm going to say is the newest item, and we've got them with us right here, is the Solus 0 degree.
Yeah.
Either way, the 15 or the 0, those bags are great. Yeah. Be able to put them on like a puffy coat, the armholes, the center zip, the 3-way zipper, the waterproof foot box.
One thing I've noticed on the 0 degree, which we're both running 0 degrees back here, I sweat a lot when I hike into a place, or even just walking back from that glassing knob. Not as bad as Brian, but my feet do sweat, and I have noticed that in the 15 degree, there will be like that 30-minute period where my feet are cold simply because they're wet on the inside of the bag. Because they've been cold. I got in that 0 degree, and it's instantaneous furnace. So if you're a cold feet guy or gal, oh my gosh, it is.
So you noticed that much difference?
I noticed a massive difference in it, because that's the first time I've actually slept in the 0 degree, and I figured I'd bring it as well. I was like, why not? And man, I slipped them in there. My feet were cold. As soon as they got out of the boots, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's got to take time to dry out. Oh my gosh, toasty.
Now, this has been an exceptionally warm year of hunting. There's no doubt about it. But I have yet to zip my sleeping bag up, this PEAX bag. I ran the 15-degree bag for the first 3/4 of the season. And on these last 3 late season hunts, I've been running the 0-degree. I've had it. I'm sleeping in the 0-degree last night. It's about freezing. It's not anything super cold. Totally unzipped as a blanket. That's one thing I love about the center zip. I put my feet in the foot box, use it as a blanket. That was, I think, will be my longest Thrive Vodcast ever. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, make sure you guys leave some comments below. So leave me some comments. Tell me what you want to hear more about, don't want to hear about. Like Chiam on the show. Thumbs down, Chiam on the show.
Any new gear that I need to be testing that you want someone to really test, let me know. Holla at me.
Guys, thanks for watching. This is the PEAX Thrive Vodcast. Raw, real, built for Western hunters.